Just like how Abhimanyu, externally he exhibited anger in all directions, but internally he was free from anger. And the same quality is coming in Parishit Maharaj. Parishit Maharaj exhibited his anger to punish Kali. But Parishit Maharaj did not exhibit an anger even internally when he was cursed by Shringi to die within 7 days. And therefore the sages are asking about the Parishit Maharaj that Tasya Janma Mahascharyam Karmanicha Grinihinaha. Karmanicha Grinihinaha means like, please tell about the activities of Parishit Maharaj, especially his activity of subduing Kali. Like some people may be glorious by their birth, but they may not be glorious in terms of their contribution or the activities in this world. Some people may be infamous by their birth, but they may perform, they may be, but they are absolutely exalted by their contribution, by their activities. But in the case of Parishit Maharaj, like everything about him is actually glorious. His birth is glorious, and his activities are glorious, and his death is also glorious. He got a notice of death for 7 days notice, and then his death is glorious because he died by taking shelter of Krishna in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. And the questions he asked, they were also wonderful, they were also glorious. Because we see in every incarnation of the Lord appears in this world to establish dharma and also to favor some particular devotee. Every incarnation appears to reciprocate with certain intimate devotees. That is the internal purpose, and the external purpose is to establish dharma in this world. But in the case of Parishit Maharaj, because of Parishit Maharaj, all the incarnations of Krishna appeared in the pages of the Bhagavatam. Usually because of different devotees, Krishna appeared in some particular form, some particular incarnation, in some particular time. But Parishit Maharaj's glory is that because of the questions asked by Parishit Maharaj, that Krishna has appeared in all the forms in the Bhagavatam. So therefore Parishit Maharaj's questions are also glorious. And Abhimanyu Sutam Suta Prahur Bhagavatottamam. So regarding this word Bhagavatottamam, Vallabhacharya in his commentary, he gives two meanings. One meaning he gives is that Loka Vritta Parityagena Bhagavat Eka Parayanaha. Loka Vritta Parityagena, renouncing the worldly activities, Bhagavat Eka Parayanaha, exclusively taking shelter of Bhagavan. So this is the quality of a Bhagavata Uttama. And another quality of Bhagavata Uttama, he explains that he quotes a verse. This verse comes in the 11th canto. In the Navayogendra Samvad, Nimi Maharaj and Navayogendra, and they are having a Samvad. One of the Navayogendras, they describe about the different types of devotees. Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyam Adhikari, Uttam Adhikari. Then after giving a description of the Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyam Adhikari, Uttam Adhikari, then this Navayogendra particularly describes about the Uttam Adhikari or the Bhagavata Uttama in great detail. The 11th canto, 2nd chapter, in the last 8 verses, some of the longest purports also are given. Some purports are 10 pages, 12 pages. So in 8 verses, they exclusively describe who is the Bhagavata Uttama. Because this word Bhagavata Uttama is a simple way we can understand. Bhagavata Uttama is the topmost of all the Bhagavatas. But they describe in great detail what are the qualities of a Bhagavata Uttama. In one purport, Hridayanand Maharaj says that although even a Kanishta Adhikari can also act as a guru, but generally a person can elevate the people under him only to the level in which he is there, he is present. A Kanishta Adhikari can elevate a person to his level. Somebody is in the stage of, say, Ruchi or Asakti can elevate a person to his level. So, in order that a person should accept the Bhagavata Uttama as the spiritual master, therefore, the Navayogendras are describing the Bhagavata Uttama in great detail.